Hello guys, and welcome to our first match in 4 Taiko World Cup. I am Summit here, casting today's match, and today we have an absolutely banger match here. Got Singapore and Taiwan B facing off in round of 32 here. Winner does go on to round of 16, loser goes down to the lower brackets. Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be one of the closer matches here. Taiwan B and Singapore are pretty similarly seated. But yeah, we are going to start off with the warm-up. Actually, the warm-up! We are playing Cut Into the Future. If you guys have a Taiko arcade near you, you should actually play it. You know? I've been dying to play one. You know? But actually. But yeah, some quick things about these two teams. Taiwan B is going to be seeded 22nd. As for Singapore, they're going to be seeded 11. It is a little gap, but definitely very doable for Taiwan B to make something happen. So, yeah. Let's see if there are going to be some more people playing here. If you're looking at the chat, I am assuming there are some people to invite. But yeah, very, very, very nice. Very, very nice. But yeah, we are going to get started here. It's been a little waiting, but gonna be going into the first tiebreaker. Oh wow. But yeah, speaking of Singapore, they do have a pretty nice, well-rounded roster all around. Did place 4th overall in Double Time 2 and Free 1-1 respectively, 8th in Double Time 1. So yeah, very, very accuracy based. Very all-rounded. None of their picks are really out of the ordinary. Maybe just, you know, Nomad 1 and Nomad 2 are kind of their weaker picks. But yeah, speaking of Taiwan B, it is going to be, yeah, kind of a different story here. A little weaker on the Hard Rock, but Yeah, very strong overall. A little ranking, yeah, ranked a little lower overall, but I think they could get some upsets. Singapore, their biggest concern is definitely going to be that consistency. If you do break early on in this tournament, you know, in these maps, it is going to be a huge detriment, but we're gonna have to see. It is going to be very, very interesting. I think Taiwan does have a lot of crew here. If they do take it seems like GT is gonna be. Oh wait, no, GT is still on no fail. He's just on no fail. Okay, I thought he was on hidden. Little weird, but yeah, but some nice things so far about GT. Yeah, that's kind of very impressive. I mean, he is like the only person doing this, which, you know, is kind of understandable. I mean, what are those snappings? It's absolutely insane. Yeah, but seems like we're going to be nearing the end of this. And yeah, that is it for the warm-ups. We're going to be going into, yeah, roles, map picks, and bans. See what we're going to cook up here. I am kind of predicting though, Singapore definitely gonna ban what they're weak on. I think realistically RO32, as that is like definitely one of their weaker picks. As for Taiwan, I think they could possibly ban double time, but we do have to wait until final decisions do get made out. And yeah, Taiwan is going to win the so pick or ban. Let's see what they come up with. And all right, they're going to be picking first. So first ban is going to be coming to Singapore. And yeah, some things about Singapore though. Wait, let me actually just pull up some stuff. Yeah, Singapore definitely did place very, very high in Nomad 3, double time 2, and free mod 1. As I said before, time is definitely one of the strongest points here. But they're going to ban Nomad 1. Pretty understandable. As Nomad 1 can flip to the other team, very minute mistakes are made. You drop a couple of hundreds and, yeah, the tide can definitely change. 3 mod 2 gonna be banned for Taiwan B. And yeah, we're gonna be looking at the first pick here now. Taiwan B going to make the decision now on what they will pick first. And yeah, this is definitely a stronger team in terms of, hidden and hard rock. Not so much on the accuracy and the speed, as they do suffer quite a bit there. But yeah, the player to definitely look out for on the side of Taiwan B is going to be Jim during qualifiers. Yeah, pulling up some really, really ridiculous scores. 987 on Nomad 1, 995 on Nomad 2, 988 on Nomad 3. And very, very strong on that hard rock. You do not want to face him against that hard rock. Yeah, placing a 1.04 on hard rock 2. The speed pick. But yeah, unfortunately, not really that much hard rock backing there. But so doesn't Singapore, as they do struggle a bit on that hard rock 2, actually. But seems like they did leave that open though, opting to ban Nomad 1, which is also a very, very smart pick. But I do think that Hard Rock 2 is going to be very, very comparable. But we do have to see what's going to happen. And yeah, on the side of Singapore, you do have GT, who's arguably one of the strongest players in this tournament. Very strong all-rounder, but specializes a lot in reading. Yeah, picking him at 991 on Nomad 3 is no small feat. And that's not even mentioning, his other scores, Double time 1, picking up 1.06 and backed up by, Joseph. You do have to keep in mind, Arc as that backup on the double time as well. But yeah, in that mod battle is going to be very, very strong. Yeah, it's going to be very, very, 50-50. But first pick is going to be Hidden One. And yeah, the pretty common between round of 32 and the Hidden One in the qualifiers. Both are going to be pretty dense heavy. Going to be a lot of consistency reading here. Not so much just the slowness of the map in general. Actually, no, this is the speed pick. I am confusing stuff. Yeah, this is actually the speed pick. But yeah, definitely something with the both of the Hidden Ones is going to be still the offbeats. Yeah, sure, it is fast. Yes, it is pretty standard to read, but some of the patterns are on offbeats. Gonna be snapped to stuff like 2-1, 2-2, 1-1. I don't know. Just very uncommon problems. So yes, it is very easy to read, but it's still very hard to really gauge how some of these patterns will land. Seems like Taiwan B is gonna try to make an upset here. Try to pick into what is uncomfortable regardless of what you're strong at. I think even if you are a very adept hidden player, maps like this do pick up some people. A lot of SS players here, but even maps like these, you can't really pick that up very easily. And yeah, we're going to be going into the first KI here. Going to be an early lead for Taiwan B, as GT does pick up some very early accuracy drops, might be nerves, but it is definitely going to be a little detrimental on his team. But it is going to be matched up by Marco. It's going to be very, very close between Singapore and Taiwan B. Yeah, just a 13,000 point difference. Couple of hundreds is going to flip this over. But Danto is holding up very, very strong for his team. It was just me, so looking very good so far. But that is going to be the halfway point. Not going to be seeing any choke so far. Gonna be seeing whether or not any of them do. Might not, but if any of these players break, it's definitely going to be very, very hard to recover. Especially in round of 32 where, these maps are supposed to be accuracy based. Not so much, consistency and mind block. So you really cannot let that get into your head, and GT is just dropping a lot of accuracy along with Danto and Marco. Jesme is going to be holding up some really good accuracy here. Matching up Danto here. Did drop a couple of hundreds, now dropping under 99, but Danto is holding up very, very well for his team. It's going to be an act differential here, as Marco is going to be at the deficit, going to be hanging on a low 97. And unfortunately, his pick is not going to be going in Taiwan's favor unless Danto or GT breaks anytime soon, but they are not budging. They are keeping up that combo. It's going to be approaching, 700 for all four players. And this is a huge accuracy lead for Singapore. As GT finally recovers back into a 99. Danto finally dropping under 99 into a 98.8, and that is going to be it. Very unfortunate from Taiwan B. Unfortunately, the accuracy for them falls short. But first map, and a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, we got at least 4 maps. If Singapore is gonna sweep, but we'll have to see if Taiwan can get this upset. They are seeded 22nd against 11th. GT, the captain of his team, going to be pulling out the double time 2 though. Pretty understandable though. As Taiwan B definitely does suffer a lot from this speed. During qualifiers, placing 31st on double time 2. We're gonna see how they do against a slightly easier speed pick here. The speed pick in qualifiers definitely was one of the hardest maps in that pool, if not the hardest map. So this one might be a little more doable. It's gonna be definitely more accuracy based rather than, you know, stamina. And yeah, Jim and Josh gonna be coming in for Taiwan B. Yeah, entirely new lineup right here for Taiwan B. Gotta see if they can, pull this off. Not the same layout they had during their double time 2. In qualifiers, Marco did play the double time 2 during qualifiers, but now they're gonna be pulling out, Josh instead of Marco here. Jim is still gonna be staying in. Yeah, definitely one of the strongest players on the team, and the one that definitely needs to step up every single map. But yeah, it is definitely up to his other teammates to really step in here to upset and make the huge difference. As RO32 is absolutely destroying this map, but Joseph is going to be on a huge accuracy deficit. Yeah, just hovering mid 97s here. Yeah, going up against, some low 99s on both Jim and Josh. Looking like it is going very well, but we're going to need to see if they can keep up this combo here. And Ark and Joseph are definitely not in the position where they can afford any chokes or any more accuracy deficit. Any accuracy drops here. And might be the finishers here that, might, trip up some people, but so far, none of the players have locked on any of the finisher yet. Yes, everyone is actually hitting the finisher, so that's very nice. But it is definitely not enough for Singapore to get back this accuracy. They need a break in Taiwan B right now if they want to get this break point, potentially, but as things are going, it is looking pretty dire for them. As this pick is going very, very well. I don't think anyone could have expected this. And Josh and Jim are doing very, very well here. It's gonna be a 99.4 and 99.2 for both of them respectively here. But as we do get into the last quarter up here, it's gonna be a little tough here. This last section is definitely gonna be a little dense. Not anything undoable, but we could be seeing some chokes here. And RO32 and Joseph are just hoping for something to happen on the other side. They definitely do not know what is going on over there, but they are definitely hoping they land it on the right side of the coin, but this map pick around, they will not. And Taiwan will be taking their own point. It's going to be tied up 1-1. In fact, actually, Joseph did break at the end of the map, so that is quite unfortunate. And overall, that was actually much better from Singapore, but unfortunate break from Joseph. And Taiwan B might just be a little hopeful to just take this point. But that is a point for Taiwan B. And hopefully they can get some more. But that is the double time 2 down for Singapore though. And for Taiwan B, not going to be a viable pick for them. And we still do have both Hard Rocks left. Hidden one did get expended, but these two Hard Rocks are going to be pretty tight though, if they do choose to pick it. And definitely based on that accuracy that they had on double time 2, I think they could possibly go for this Nomad 3. It is going to be pretty hard for Taiwan B to recover from that if they do get picked against that. But it's going to be Nomad 4. It's going to be Nomad 4. This is going to be the SV pick. And yeah, we're gonna be seeing GT come into his comfort zone here. Hopefully, Taiwan B, for Taiwan B, they're gonna be able to, claw this back. I think for many of the pick'ems, this is gonna be, not impossible, based on statistics and, past tournament history. I mean, Danto as well is, like, very, very good. Yeah, during IGTS, pulling off some really, really ridiculous scores on the Nomad. And over here as well, actually, no, he did not play Nomad during qualifiers, but going to be Danto coming in for the first time on a Nomad, if I'm not mistaken. Unless he did come in earlier, but starting up here, it is going to be the SV pick here. And yeah, Taiwan is going to be getting an early lead, but we're going to see if they can manage to keep this up for the entire duration of the match. And it's going to be actually leading back, flipping over to Singapore, as they're going to be getting a pretty nice accuracy lead here. Josh did suffer a bit on the accuracy. Jim is holding on though on the SS, actually beating out GT in the meantime. And yeah, GT is holding up very well though. If Jim does drop a couple of hundreds, this might be a double diff here. As you know, GT has been starting off pretty slow on the maps he's been coming in far in this match. Danto though, being a very, very good anchor, gonna be beating out Josh in the accuracy, but it's looking very tight though. Actually looking very, very tight. Actually, Jim is holding on very, very well. That S is giving them a sliver of a lead here. Actually gonna be flickering a bit, as Josh is gonna be dropping a couple of 100s. Gonna be just under 98, and Danto is gonna have the accuracy advantage, but that is going to be the first Ki down. 2/3 of the map done. And looking very, very tight for both of these players. You really cannot afford any accuracy drops on any of these maps, and especially this one. I mean, it's not really just a, definitely not just a SV map. I mean, also variable snappings. You can see like some of the 1/3 in the break section, and some of the 1/3 as well, in this Ki. Although, very, very minuscule. Oh, but this accuracy is getting very, very tight. GT is now up to 99.93, has not dropped any accuracy since then. Oh, but he's going to be breaking at the very end of the map. Did not have the lead at the end of the map, but that break definitely solidified it. It's going to be a break point for Taiwan B, as Jim is going to be picking up and Josh backing up with the FC. Danto though, that is a ridiculous accuracy to back up someone like GT. And oh man, that is definitely the break point definitely the break point you wanted. Going against reading heavy team like Singapore, comprised with, brand new talent that, recently won IGTS, and now coming into an open rank 4-digit tournament. Comprised by a lot of new players that joined in for IGTS, and now you're gonna be seated 11th out of everyone. These are, keep in mind, some of these players on these teams are, RGTS players, Oh, that was a breakpoint. Whoops. Wait, are you sure? Oh wait, that is not breakpoint. That is not breakpoint. Yeah, that is not breakpoint. Whoops. That is not breakpoint. But yeah, definitely the map you wanted to win though. As Singapore is a very reading heavy team. Yeah, the first two were breakpoints. Yeah. Okay, so that is double time 2 for Singapore. Not something that Taiwan beat them. I was a little confused on that. But yeah, double breakpoints at the first 2 maps. And it's going to be Singapore here. Gonna be seeing what they are going to pick. I think they could pick the Nomad 5. The accuracy is very, very good on their side. And seeing how Nomad 5 is a not a very, chokeable map. I think this could be a very good pick for them, but we're gonna have Fremont 1 coming out. And I think this is going to be very, very tough for Taiwan to win over. Yeah, this could be very, very hard. Taiwan, yeah, Singapore did place 4th overall on Fremont, so this is gonna be very tough. GT did pull up a just under 1.1. Yeah, 1.10 on the Fremont 1 with the double mod. Of course, there is no way you can get that kind of score without double mod. But we'll see if GT pulls it off again. This is Fremont 1. This is the moddable map. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is the moddable map out of the Fremont pool. And backed up by Danto again. Jesme going to be coming out. So, yeah, no. That is not going to be Josh coming in here. Yeah, it'll be Jesme. Possibly going to be going Nomad or Hard Rock here. But match is going to be starting, and we're going to be revealing the mod combinations here. GT going to be Hidden Hard Rock, and it's going to be 2 mods respectively for Taiwan B. Jim on his Hard Rock and Jesme on the Hidden. Danto is going to be matching Jesme though, so going to see if Jesme can beat out Danto this time around. And GT though, on the mod advantage, definitely cannot afford to get too many misses, but definitely does have some leeway when it comes to accuracy. As you know, if you do hit a certain accuracy threshold, you do beat out the other player you are matched up against, and that will be Jim, who is actually also on a mod deficit as well, in fact, so and yeah, this mod advantage is coming in very handy though, as GT is going to be picking up the accuracy for his team. Oh, but that's going to be a miss though, very, very early for GT though. So a lot of room to, yeah, build that combo back up. Danto is pulling on very well, but his accuracy suffering a lot. Yeah, compared to Jesme, who is going to be nearing the 99 percentage, and he's going to reach it. Jim as well, also on the 99, and oh, but Jesme is going to be breaking there. Gonna be trading out GT, and it's going to be a much more impactful miss as it's going to be on the midway mark. GT is also building back some combo here, going to be halfway there to 400. If he does break again though, that is going to be very, very hard for Singapore. But Danto is recovering back his accuracy, going to be, yeah, above 98 now, coming back from that 96. That was a very early, yeah, mishap on his side. But seems like he's gotten everything together again. Jim, though, gonna have to do a lot of work. He is FCing, but his teammate is not. So, definitely cannot afford to, drop any more 100s, and is looking pretty close, but no more time. And not enough points to recover. Not enough score to recover, so. Little unfortunate. That is going to be a win for Singapore, but it definitely looked a little shaky there, little out of form for GT on the Hidden Hard Rock. It's normally something that, someone like him would FC, but this time around does not get the FC, but the highest score in the lobby still, so it's going to be a win. And unfortunately, Taiwan is going to be losing their 4th point. It's going to be tied up now. No breakpoints here, as Singapore does win their first pick as well. And yeah, that is it for free mod. No more maps to Hidden Hard Rock. And there is still that hidden too. So yeah, for a reading heavy team, this is gonna be very nice for Singapore if they do pick that. We'll see. We do have the timer up, and that is gonna be Nomad 5. And yeah, very odd pick. As I said before, Nomad 5 could be an ideal pick for Singapore. As you know, it is pretty hard to mind block on this. It is pretty hard. It's going to be entirely accuracy. Couple of 1/3 streams here, if you can really consider them streams. But yeah, very, very streamy, very, you know, dense on, you know, the consistent patterns. And if you do swing, this is going to be a pretty nice map. It's going to be but we're going to see what Singapore responds with this. And it's going to be Joseph coming in to GT here. Or not. Danto is... yeah, looking like he's going to stay in here. And on the side of Taiwan, still going to be Jim and Jesme here. Going to be doing here for Nomad 5. But yeah, some really very, very important things to highlight here is definitely the OD. This will be OD6. OD6, you know, on its own, might not be that bad, but this is a swing map. And, you know, with swing, it's going to be a little tricky to, you know, gauge how fast you really want to hit these nodes. I mean, some of these nodes, in fact, do snap into 1/4, so it's going to be a little tricky. I think they do snap at 1/4 at some point in the map, but it is going to be pretty difficult for Taiwan B to get their own point here, and there might be a potential breakpoint here again for Singapore. I think this is a kind of map that, you know, is kind of right up their alley. And not to mention, there are some pretty tricky finishers. I think that is kind of the argument here. I think Joseph does drop a lot of accuracy when it comes to, you know, 1/3 and 1/4 into finishers. I mean, that definitely did showcase in the double time too, where he did drop accuracy when, you know, you had those 5 plits to those finishers, and he just drops some 100s here and there, and it just flips it over. But a new map, and hopefully a new player here for Joseph, as yeah, he's holding up the SS. In fact, all 4 players are holding up the SS. But Danto going to be dropping the first 100 here for Singapore, and it's going to be a very early lead. Yeah, Jesme and Jim are holding on to that SS. Singapore, if they do find that break from the other side, it's going to be very, very fortunate for them, but no breaks yet. It's going to be a quad FC. As you know, things should be. As this is really, really early, you definitely, as I said before, you definitely cannot afford to break in these kinds of situations. This is, you know, the easiest pool so far. I mean, this is 0.7 stars, and, you know, for players like these, definitely cannot afford that. Even the 100s, yeah, you definitely cannot afford any 100s, and yeah, Danto is hovering 99.7, and is looking a little dire on his side, as he is going to be now tied up for Jesme, but Jesme has been holding on that SS for so much longer, and that is going to be flickering points here. Oh, Danto has a higher accuracy here, and Jim breaking that SS. Joseph is coming in very, very strong for his team, still on the SS. And yeah, Jim is going to be dropping more 100s. Oh my god, this is looking very, very bad. But Joseph is going to be breaking the end of the map, an eighth of the map left. It doesn't seem like there is really any room for Jim and Jesme to break here. And that's going to be the end of the map. Oh my god. Yeah, definitely looked like Singapore was going to get that break point, but unfortunately a break from Joseph is going to seal the deal for Taiwan's 3rd point. It's a very impressive accuracy there, but that unfortunate miss, you know. And Danto definitely did have the potential to beat out Jesme, but unfortunately not gonna be going his way. Jesmy gonna be going up by 100, 7-8, and Jim gonna be the highest accuracy for the Taiwan squad on the 5, but definitely looked very, very close here, and definitely not what they, you know, could have hoped the best for. But that is going to be a lead for Taiwan, and definitely not something you would have hoped for. This is, you know, a team that people were expecting to, you know, absolutely sweep Taiwan B. I mean, Singapore. This is like a team with, you know, fresh faces, you know, just won IGTS, you know. One of the most stacked intermediate, you know, tournaments, and they're looking like the favorites coming into this. But looking a little rusty here, a little inconsistent for the guys at Singapore, as 1 point deficit. And kind of realistically, 2 picks left that they can really pick into. That's going to be Nomon and Double Time. I think the way things are going, yeah, both Hard Rocks are going to be 50-50. I think realistically, yeah, Nomon and Double Time 1 are going to be their best bets at winning. And that's going to be Hard Rock 2 for Singapore here. This is going to be the speedier one. But Hard Rock 2 has definitely been very, very nice for Singapore. Definitely did not match up to, you know, some of the stronger Hard Rock teams, but very, very respective. Yeah, very, very respectable. I mean, GT has a 1.04, down to actually did have a 1 million here, so if they do pick this up, especially on an easier map, this is gonna be pretty brutal, and they definitely have the chance to tie this back up. But we do have to see though, as Taiwan has been looking pretty nice here, very consistent, but if Singapore stops breaking, it is going to be very, very bad for Taiwan, as the accuracy is going to be coming up very, very good for Singapore. Very consistent on the accuracy, not so much on the miscount, but, you know, it just takes one or two of these maps to really build up that momentum. It's, yeah, start comboing to the very end of the map, and this might be it. This is definitely a map where, you know, even the most consistent players might just break. And this might be the chance for, yeah, now on the side, Arc and GT gonna be coming up here for Hard Rock 2. And if they do double FC this, I think this is gonna snowball very, very hard, but we're gonna have to see. This is 200 BPM. It is 200 BPM, and yes, the SV is gonna be base 1.0, but it's still gonna be fairly fast, especially for this stage. I mean, last qualifiers, it was 195. Although it was more dense, this is going to be 10 BPM faster. It does make the difference. Players who can do 230 can't really exactly do 240 necessarily, so might make the difference. And yeah, during qualifiers, yeah, Singapore did have the upper hand in both Hard Rocks, although it was still their weakest map. Yeah, definitely their weakest skill set. But it's going to be an early point lead for Taiwan, as this is, yeah, some really nice, yeah, scores from Jim so far, Jesmy as well. Gonna be approaching the 5 million first. And yeah, that's gonna be Jim getting the first 500k. RO32 did suffer a lot of accuracy early on those finishers, and I think that might have cost, Singapore right now that act deficit and that point deficit as a result. And Jesmy is just being a very, very good. Oh no! Jesmy is going to be missing though. But that is still a point lead for Taiwan B. It's gonna take Jim to flip this over, but he is still holding on to that FC. And GT did miss before, so Jesmy overall building up more combo, building up more score, and that is going to be a point lead, but is ticking away. The time is running low for Taiwan. They need a break from Singapore right now, but they are still holding on to their combo. No breaks, and Jim going to be the breaking point here. Going to be no FCs here for Taiwan B, and Arc is going to be coming in very, very clutch. Very early act drops in the beginning, but bringing it back is going to be possibly an FC here for RO32. And yeah, unfortunately, GT is going to be breaking his combo again, but the deal has been sealed, and that is going to be a third point for Singapore. No break points here for Taiwan, and we're going to be tied back up. Oh man, that definitely looked very, very tight, and definitely something that, Taiwan is going to be thinking at the back of their heads. This definitely could have been a breakpoint for them, but, definitely more consistent now for Singapore. Gonna be less misses. And finally, some misses on the side of Taiwan. Yeah, so far, they have been, missing very, very little. Like, way less than Singapore, but this time around, definitely did not go their way. A much more chokeable map for RO32, and it goes flat for them. But yeah, that is going to be it for RO2. RO1 is still going to be a pretty viable pick for Singapore, as their accuracy did suffer a bit on the RO2, but with the lower SV here, I think RO1 would be a very, very hard point for Taiwan. And I think Taiwan could be still thinking at the back of their heads, these three maps that might be coming their way might just be some of their hardest maps so far in this match. I mean, that double time 2 was a breakpoint, but it's a matter of whether or not they can replicate that again. Definitely not the fastest map in the pool. It is 235, 238 BPM, but it is still a speed map, and it is definitely a much more different one. More finisher heavy, more awkward patterns. I think Doraemon, the double time 2 is definitely more straightforward on the patterning. And yeah, that's gonna be double time 1. This is gonna be the accuracy pick, and what most people are saying is gonna be the hardest map in the entire pool. I think that's been the feedback so far, so definitely the high skill cap map based on what people are saying. Yeah, for Taiwan, not much you can really pick here. Probably your best bet is going to be Nomad 2, the tech pick. And I think the tech pick might be their best bet. If they do, manage to win these next 2 picks. Or, if they manage to win this next pick and... Oh wait, no! This is going to be their last pick, actually, before the forced tiebreaker. Yeah, we are approaching very close to that tiebreaker. Not gonna be anything for... Yeah, not gonna be Nobot 2, actually. It's gonna be double time 1 for Taiwan. Singapore is not gonna be picking this. It's gonna be Taiwan. So, if Taiwan B does clutch this up, it's gonna be very, very nice. I think my signal is low. So if I'm coming out, it is gonna be a little awkward. But yeah, we are starting. We are starting right now. Right here and now. It's gonna be double time 1. It's going to be the hardest map, as what people are saying. This is a very, very hard map to act. And yeah, if you saw the if you saw the showcase, even the replayer could not pick up single digit 100. So we might potentially see some huge accuracy drops. And we definitely are right now. Joseph is hovering a 93, GT on the 97, and that is still an SS and a high 99 for Josh and Jim. I think they can afford, a break or two if they keep this up. But we'll have to see. As we are starting up on this map, Joseph and GT definitely have been starting off pretty slow, this entire match so far. So it might be pretty normal for them. Might recover back their accuracy. But as this first TI does come around, gonna be having a lot of 7-plits here, a lot of 5-plits, and that's gonna be a first break for Jim. Was holding on to an SS just before, but is gonna be on the short end of the stick right now. Gonna have to see another break from Singapore if we want to see something neutralize here, but it's gonna be a pretty heavy lead as GT and Joseph are actually recovering back their accuracy. GT is gonna be back up 99.5. Joseph coming from a 92 to approaching 98. But it's still not enough to match Josh, who is on a low 98, which is very, very impressive. That is a very impressive accuracy, especially on the accuracy side of double time. This is OD5 now accelerate even further with the qualities of double time. So but as we do go into this break, into the last TI and the last quarter of the map, we do need to see something happen from Singapore. They are holding on very, very well. It is a really nice accuracy there from GT. And although Joseph is having the lowest accuracy in the entire lobby, he is still holding an FC. And that is going to be, a very nice anchor there. Although, even though Jim has missed, he's still a higher point. Definitely, he does have a higher point lead than Joseph, and missed just before, so gonna be unrecoverable now as time has run out for Taiwan to get anything done. Very nice scores from Singapore. Definitely did start out very slow for GT and Joseph, but managed to pull it off in the end. And Joseph did break at the end of the map. My stream did cut out, so I didn't really see it. That is going to be match point for Singapore. But for Singapore is going to be pretty nice now. Definitely looking very good for Singapore. Gonna be winning out that double time. And it's gonna be their own pick now is going to be a breakpoint for that double time one. So Singapore has a lot to choose here. They can pick the hidden 2 and outread them. They can pick the Nomad 3, outspeed them, and outact them on the speed pick. And Hard Rock 1 could work very well in their favor. If they can act double time 1, they can definitely act Hard Rock 1. Is not the same map. It's not the same kind of accuracy based, skill set, but still something right up their alley. And I think they might be picking Hard Rock 1 here. They have a lot of options here. But they are taking their time to pick this last map. This might be the decider. And it's gonna be him too. And very, very respectable. I mean, Hard Rock 2 did throw off Taiwan B off their comfort zone. who's normally feeling very, very consistent throughout this entire match, but could not keep the combo in the RO32. And hopefully, for Singapore, they're going to be keeping this up with the Hin 2 pick. As, you know, along with the Hin 2 and qualifiers, this is going to be a lot more on the dense, on the dense section. Yeah, we'll be seeing GT, I think. Yeah, GT is going to be coming in. Marco as well. Danto has been staying in and has been going very, very strong though. So has Desmi, but no Jim. Yeah, that's gonna be GT coming in, hopefully to end this match once and for all. It's gonna be pretty tough for Taiwan to secure that double FC at the very least. The accuracy might just not matter too much, but you definitely have to keep up that combo. Especially on these maps where you can break a lot. You're feeling very, very consistent so far. Accuracy, you know, can be pretty negligible here, but to keep up that combo. Especially when you're going against players like GT, who specialize in these kinds of maps. And you know, hopefully he can break here, but he's been feeling very good on these mind-blockable maps. Hopefully going to carry Singapore across the line here with Danto backing it up. But yes, definitely gonna be a battle between GT and Jesmi, as both of these players are just, both of these players are very, very strong on the slow hitting. And it seems like Jesmi is going to be having the lower, Jesmi's gonna be on the lower end. It's gonna be GT beating him out on the accuracy, but Danto is holding on to a very, very nice accuracy lead here. Dropped less 100s at the start and the middle of, dropping less 100s at the start of the map. And that's gonna be more combo built up. Or more points built up. As it does scale. But that's gonna be a miss for Danto here. The first miss. Still a lead here for GT and the rest of the Singapore squad. But it is starting to flicker. It is starting to flicker, but Marco is going to break, and that's going to be a huge lead again for Singapore. Going to be 15,000 just from that one break instantaneously. And oh man, this is looking very, very dire now. You have, a quarter of the map left. And GT is still holding on to the FC. Jesmi is just trailing behind him by a full 1%. And Marco still breaking is going to be not making any better of a case for Taiwan, and this is going to be a very, very decisive pick, seems like, for Singapore. As they're going to be carrying this over to the finish line. No chain misses here for Singapore as we do near the end of the map, and nearing the end of the match. And that's going to be 5 points for Singapore. An advancement into the upper bracket. Very, very nice stuff from GT. Picking up a 3-100 to decisively get the win for his team. That's going to be a double diff here, as Danto is going to be beating the accuracy of Marco as well. Overall, good stuff from Singapore, but it did look rough at the start of the match. They do have to patch that up for next week, because their opponents are going to be getting stronger and stronger. Meanwhile, for Taiwan, it was a good fight. It was a very good fight. And I think they could make a very good lower bracket run. Singapore going to be moving up to the upper bracket here. No mod for free mod. What the? For round of 16. They're all 2 letters, man. They're all 2 letters. But but I do have to go now, so it's gonna be it's been a pleasure casting the first match for for Taiko World Cup. Oh well. But yeah, GG's to Singapore. And hoping to see how they do it for the rest of the tournament. But I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.